Hello everyone, welcome to my session on performance-based assessment. This session you have a discussion board comparing the selected response test with the performance task. Intuitively, you may think the performance task is the quote-unquote bomb diggity in comparison to the dreaded selected response test. I want you to dig into the material on performance tasks, the two chapters, the one Chappuis et al. And Popham's chapter, and the Edutopia material. It's okay to choose one over the other. Just support your choice with evidence. I will be watching. Performance assessment is coming back into vogue as evidenced by the attention given to it in the Edutopia website and the reaction to the inundation of large-scale accountability tests. The kickback, I should say. It makes sense that if we assess a student doing a real-life task, then not only is it authentic, but it has meaning to the student. In my course, I have 5 assignments that would be considered performance-based tasks: the discussion boards, the double-entry journal, the favorite intervention video, the selected response creation task, and the 3-part analytic summary at the end. You might also say the final baseline survey is one as well, because I use a rubric to grade it. Popham states that there are 3 criteria that make an assessment performance best. 1, there are multiple evaluative criteria, which to me means rubrics. As you notice, I have a section on the left-hand side of Blackboard that has all the rubrics that I use in my course, and I usually give the rubric with the assignment when it's due. 2, there are standards for judging, and they've been specified in advance. No secrets. We're going to read about Marissa and Mr. Jones, where he assigns them a comparative literature homework assignment, where they have to write an essay comparing 2 pieces of literature without any guidelines, no rubric, no nothing. So to be a true performance task, the guidelines must be shared in advance, no secrets. And then thirdly, they require human judgment to evaluate. Now, when we talk about reliability, we're going to talk about inter-rater reliability, and many of our essays that we grade for the state assessment have inter-rater reliability because the 2 raters have been trained. But in the case of human judgment in my class, it's just me. I have mono related reliability, hopefully. The problem with performance tasks, and in my opinion there are many, is what Popham calls generalizability. In other words, how can you create a task that will allow you to make inferences about what students know and can do? How many learning targets can one master while carrying out a lengthy task? During my tenure as a high school principal, my 10th grade ELA and social studies teachers collaborated on a lengthy student exhibition project, which I wrote about in the first article I ever got published. I was so excited about it. At the time, I felt the results were no less than phenomenal. And what was that based on? Well, it was based on the students' motivation, and it was based on the reaction of parents and others who came to watch those exhibitions. Yet when I look back on what I know now, I have no clue what kind of inferences we were able to make, other than the student work was impressive and that most were highly motivated. What learning targets were mastered would be difficult to determine because we did not have any in mind when we began the project. The problem, therefore, is to choose a task, as Popham says, and he lists 7 criteria for doing this. And Chappuis et al. Lists 3 categories with 16 characteristics. And then to create an analytic rubric with student-friendly descriptions of quality, which hopefully I have done in my course. I have shared an article by Heidi Andrade where she discusses the process of creating rubrics with students. I have done this, so I highly recommend it. When I taught live classes at Turo in Manhattan, and the results, the rubric always came out pretty much the same. You know, I guided them. We talked about weak and strong work, what it looks like. When this is done, as you will hear later on, and when there's a video on Miss W and talking about Emily, or Emily talking about Miss W, how she did it, your students will have a solid grasp of what you expect and how they will be graded. My biggest complaint about rubrics that I have seen, especially on some of the rubric creation sites, is the vagueness of the descriptions of quality. You want your rubric the students to be able to look at and say, "Oh yeah, I know what she's looking for. I know what he's looking for." And I've seen some of them with descriptions of quality like excellent organization, robust evidence. What the hell does that mean? And that's what I call a teacher-friendly description of quality, because it really doesn't tell the student what it means. What is good organization? What is robust evidence? So that's my complaint about rubrics. And once you get through with the readings in this course, you should have a very good idea of what one looks like. And just remember, there's also a difference between a holistic rubric, which is just has all the categories of quality listed and you just get one grade, and an analytic rubric, which has, you know, a 4, 3, a 2, or 1, or in some of my rubrics, 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1, and each level has a description of quality. So that's all I'm going to say about performance assessment. Read the chapters, dig into the Edutopia website and watch the video I provided, and I'm looking forward to our discussion.